Hey, what's up everyone? Thank you for joining the Star, SayWhat.tv's news show made just for you. I'm your host, Mara Matosic, and you're tuned in for the latest stories that'll make you say what? Say what? In this episode, you're going to hear from a stock star who's gonna teach you how to put some extra cha-ching in your pockets. That's not all. We have a top programmer who met one of the creators of the very first iPhone, and he's sharing with us the key to success. Last but not least, we're talking about the elephant in the room. No, seriously, we got a scoop on how innovative techniques saved the life of an elephant from El Paso Zoo. Say what? You'll want to stay tuned for our brand new Life at the Zoo segment. Now, a word from our sponsors. Thanks to Creed, Microsoft, and El Paso Electric, STTE Foundation is able to offer students some fun and exciting programs. Let's take a look at what they are planning this year.
Say what? Say what?
From a real social media king who's master of illusions to an Instagram influencer whose whole life is, well, an actual illusion, let's check them out. First up, Zach King.
So some see this glass as half full, some see it as half empty, but I see it as a piece of cake.
Say what?
Have you ever had dreams of going viral? Social media fame is pretty new, and if you can't bust a move like favorite TikTok creators, you might be feeling like letting those dreams die. But what if I told you knowing the latest trendy dance isn't the only way you can become an A-list social media star? Say what? The second most followed creator on TikTok has 44 million followers. He isn't a part of any crews, he definitely doesn't dance, and get this, he's 30. You probably guessed it, I'm talking about Zach King. This guy does magic tricks on the app, and he adds twists to every video, something different than the TikTok videos you might be used to. King says a lot of his success comes from not following trends. He says he likes the app because it lets people be creative and find their strength while owning their niche. How cool is that? But the most important thing from King, just be yourself. Who knows? Maybe we'll be featuring you next.
Say what?
Now moving to the next story. This is Michaela, Lil Michaela, a 19-year-old American-Brazilian beauty influencer who has worked with brands like Prada, Chanel, Coach, and Balenciaga, and is thriving in her teenage years. But, yes, there's always a but. She is not human.
Say
what? She is a CGI created by an LA-based startup called Grad. You might be asking at this point, how come a robot can be an influencer? Like, how can a robot post on Instagram? The only thing that we know is that she is not the only CGI on Instagram, and possibly she won't be the last one. Lil Michaela not only shares cute pictures on Instagram, she also uses the power of social media to invite her followers to sign up to receive alerts to vote in the upcoming elections. And for those who are underage, she will send them reminders when they turn 18 to register to vote. She does it all, doesn't she? Now, let's jump right into our local stories.
Say what?
All right now, I need your help. Should I spend my birthday money on new skins for Fortnite or buy more Robux? Hold that thought. You need to invest that money into Robinhood. Robinhood? Isn't that the fox who robs from the rich? Why should I give my money to him? No, silly. It's the trading app that lets you buy stock. It's called an investment. Meaning? It means more green in your wallet. More money?
Say
what? Tell me more. Well, I'll let the New Mexico student and training master Kenza Benomar crack the code for you.
Say what?
Hey SayWhat TV, are you looking to double or even triple the cash in your pocket? Well, you're in the right market. All you need to do is to invest. Now I know the stock market can be very intimidating, but with a little bit of practice, you can become a professional. You need first to go for applications that are user-friendly, like Robinhood, MarketWatch, or eTrade. These applications have features that are easy to use wherever you are, and you can get familiar with them, then start trading. Now, after getting familiar with these user-friendly applications, the real fun part starts. You need to know which companies to put your money on. If you are a risk-averse person, you would want to go with well-established companies such as Boeing, General Motors, or Ford. If you are more of an aggressive trader, you would want to go with companies that still have room for improvement, such as Alibaba, which is an e-commerce Chinese company that went public in 2014. And now it's making it rain for its investors. Its stock skyrocketed from $120 to $280 during the summer. And for Tesla, it is also a good company to invest in. It still have room for improvement, or it's still developing electric cars, and that could be a good investment to go with. Finally, I will leave you with some tips. The market can be like a roller coaster, so you always need to be on your toes. If your stocks skyrocket overnight, they can easily come out crashing down just as fast. So be patient, but not too patient. And with practice, you'll get the hang of when to buy out, buy in, and come out the other side with extra money to live your best life.
Say what?
Like we've seen with Zach King, it's never too late to start a career. It's also never too early. A top programmer in this city was exposed to the world of entrepreneurship at a young age, where he found his passion for computer science while he was still at Hanks High School. From developing video games to starting up his own company, let's take a look at Ivan Huerta's story.
Say what?
I went to Hanks High School in El Paso, Texas. Was basically a class clown, was in band. Senior year, did a little bit of robotics. But ultimately, in Algebra 2, one of my teachers introduced a computer science video that included Bill Gates and one of the founders of Dropbox, and was inspired by sort of what you can do with code. And so going into my junior year, I decided to take a computer science class at Hanks, and sort of started to get more serious. Going into that summer, though, going into my senior year, I got a mentor named Jason, who actually worked on the very first iPhone and was there when Steve Jobs launched the first iPhone, and was super inspired by Jason, and he took me under his wing and purchased a bunch of resources for me, and also introduced me into entrepreneurship a little bit. But yeah, I mean that was my high school, and that's how I got into tech and entrepreneurship. I guess officially I started being an entrepreneur about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I was doing small things like making websites for clients or making video games with Jason, my mentor. And Parabeak was sort of like the first startup, I guess, that was trying to scale something. And we started that about 4 years ago out of a college dorm at UTEP. And at the time we were doing something completely different, but I learned a lot through that experience. So product market fit is when you have developed a product that solves some problem for a specific market. So a market is a segment of customers or users. So when you're selling to restaurants or museums, the market that you're targeting there are restaurants or museums. Some other markets could be, Facebook, for example, just targets the general person in the world. They don't have anybody very specific, but you kind of see companies like Snapchat and TikTok who don't exactly target a older audience, but instead target the millennial or the Gen Z. Yeah, so to sort of visualize what handoff hell looks like, you have your design files that designers create, and these are a lot like artists, and they create another file that hands off to sort of the engineers to do the implementation in the actual code base. And there's just a lot of issues with sort of this handoff process. And so ultimately what we're doing here at Parabeak is taking those design files and with the push button, converting it into code. So we really want designers to be a lot like developers. And so if you want to use Parabeak today, all you got to do is sign up at parabeak.com. We have a community that we'd love to have any developers that are sort of interested in this space to join us on Discord. And yeah. The magic in Parabeak is that we are exclusively working on Flutter, and Flutter is exploding. In December 2018, they launched. Within a year, they had 1 million developers, and a quarter after that, they already reached 2 million developers. And so we really believe that Flutter is the future of development for mobile, for web and desktop, and maybe even embedded systems. And this is a relatively new framework that's just exploding.
Say what?
Who doesn't love the zoo? You guys like the zoo, right? Anyone? I know, right? Me too. I'm sure we've all been to the zoo at least, once. But has anyone ever considered working at one as a zoo veterinarian? If you're an animal lover, then this career might be the perfect thing for you. Imagine being surrounded by furry friends all day long, and not just that, being able to help them feel better. A total dream. Without further ado, let's check out Life Science at the Zoo segment to see how the magic happens.
Say what?
Hi, I'm Alicia Swan. I'm an STTE board member and an operations manager at Workforce Solutions Borderplex. Today, we're here at the El Paso Zoo to go ahead and meet some awesome and amazing animals to get to see the innovation that the El Paso Zoo has created and just take you on this amazing journey. Say what? Hi, today I have Dr. Vicki Milne with me. She is one of our zoo veterinarians here at the El Paso Zoo. She's taking me on a wonder adventure and helping me learn about these amazing animals here. Oh shoot, is that Brutus the alligator?
Oh yes, I am the American alligator. Did you know that I once faced extinction?
Sure, so becoming a veterinarian requires going and getting some kind of bachelor's degree. It can be in science or it can be in other arts, but generally you first have to get your undergrad degree. But there are a lot of other ways to go, like animal science, physiology, anatomy. Those are all great choices. 4 years of veterinary school. So first you have to get accepted to a veterinary school, which is pretty hard. There are a limited number of schools and a limited number of positions. So it's really competitive. And also at the same time though, you should be trying to get some experience in situations that involve taking care of animals. So preferably in a veterinary hospital, so working as a veterinary assistant or volunteering with the Humane Society, volunteering with your local zoo, depending on what you want to do. You just need to get some experience working with animals and taking care of animals to make sure that the school knows that you know what you're getting into. Well, I came from a family with a lot of pets, so we always had fish and turtles and rabbits and dogs and cats. So I was used to being around animals. I also came from a family with a lot of nurses and met other medical professionals. So a lot of the people in my family worked in hospitals, and I was used to being around healthcare. And I really liked animals. So I was always very interested in doing kind of what they did, but with animals. Always been very fond of nature, fond of animals, and wanting to spend my time with them more than sitting in an office. And that kind of thing.
Say what? Is that our very own Juno and our breast cancer survivor?
Last year, I was diagnosed with cancer. I have gone through chemotherapy, and thanks to the innovation developed by veterinarians at El Paso Zoo, my tumor has reduced in size.
Sure. So yes, we have an elephant, Juno, who has a cancer, which is really unusual for elephants, and nobody has treated this type of cancer before. So we coordinated with some veterinary oncologists. They deal with cancer in animals. And so they got on board and they helped us determine what some treatment options would be that would not involve, for example, we didn't want Juno to go through chemotherapy. She's so large. In the first place, it would take a ton of medications. And nobody's done that in an elephant before, so we would really be experimenting with the medications and potentially making her very sick by accident. So we didn't want that to happen. So we were able to work with this veterinary oncologist who, Dr. Impellizzeri, and he brought a machine that allowed us to give some chemotherapeutic drugs, but only enough to treat just the tumor. So we weren't giving it to her systemically, so she wasn't going to feel the normal side effects that a lot of chemotherapeutic drugs can produce. And so we were able to treat her tumor, use the machine to make the tumor more susceptible and open to taking up the chemotherapeutic agent when it was given locally, and help shrink the tumor.
As a top predator, I have an important role in my habitat. Places like the savannah depend on me. If lions like me were to disappear, herd populations would balloon, and grazers would eat up the grass.
Say what? I never realized the importance that some species played within their habitat.
But I really like working with, I really just love turtles and tortoises. So I love working with reptiles. I like turtles and tortoises. I think reptiles are amazing because they're so different from us. We're mammals, so a lot of our systems and how we work and how drugs work in us and the medical problems that we have are very similar to other mammals. So, people don't necessarily think about that, but you get a lot of the same problems that other mammals get. There's a lot of shared things. When you get to reptiles, there are some shared things, but they just get more and more different from us. So they aren't warm-blooded. They don't make their own heat. They take longer to do everything as far as healing and get sick. They're really fascinating from a physiologic standpoint. And then turtles, they're just adorable. So who doesn't love a turtle? If you want to do something that's weird, like be a zoo veterinarian, it's a little different from the usual path. So just be prepared to keep up the fight and to be really dedicated. So you're gonna have to work hard. But if you do the work, you can do it. And so it's not that there necessarily are people who, are born ready to be a veterinarian. You just have to, you do the work and you can learn and if you really love it and you apply yourself, then you should probably be able to do it.
To keep our conversation alive, visit us on SayWhat.tv. You can also download us on our SayWhat app. We'd love to hear from you and tell us about your favorite animal at today's adventure at the El Paso Zoo. Thank you and I hope to see you guys soon.
What?
Special thanks to Ivan Huerta and Kenza Benomar for sharing their stories with us. And shout out to the city of El Paso and El Paso Zoo for letting us swing by to get a look at their animal kingdom. The SayWhat team is giving away SayWhat swag. We have a lot of shirts to give away, but we want to hear from you. Merch is super easy to win. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and download our SayWhat app found on our website, SayWhat.tv. Post on our social media feed and share who inspires you and what they did to inspire you to make a difference. Whoever gets the most claps wins some swag. Thanks for watching The Star on SayWhat.tv. I am Mara Matosic asking, if you say what, we say what.